Hey guys! Well, it's been a minute, but it's also been quite the year. But seeing as it's December 2025, I thought I would look back and at least give you a partial review of what the year in real estate looked like in 2025. Let's compare a little bit with last year and also look back to the forecasting I did last year for 2025. In 2024, we started the year with sales going up, and by April, sales went down, and the rest of the year was stagnant. Along with that, prices stayed flat. Same average sale price basically as 2023. That's why I called it the year of limbo. The available listings inventory out there was at an all-time high, and buyers had decision fatigue. My conjecture for 2025 was that we could be on the precipice of an upswing, but that where there was smoke, there was not necessarily fire. There were predictions that interest rates would be down to 2.25% by mid-year, and hopes that that would bring more buyers back to the market to narrow that gap between supply and demand. What was the reality of 2025? The Bank of Canada rate did not drop down to 2.25% until October of this year, and it stays there today. And it did not flood buyers back into the market like we hoped. In last year's video, I noted larger geopolitical events and wondered whether interest rate drops could do enough to counteract the impact of those events. I also said that 2025 was likely to be a slow burn and that things wouldn't truly fire off until 2026. So ultimately, how did 2025 pan out? As predicted by me. Realtors have remarked that it's been one of the most challenging years in Niagara real estate, and I would say that's not just for agents, but for sellers as well. Despite some positive momentum at the end of 2024, we started 2025 weaker than expected. January and February, we were affected by terrible winter weather, and in March and April, things dropped off a cliff with tariff announcements. And we've been dealing with the aftermath of that since, with job losses and an unsteady economy. And along with that, the Bank of Canada has treaded really cautiously with less rate drops and more holds than we expected. Oh, and at the beginning of the year, Niagara Realtors were also navigating a new listing software in a He-Man versus Skeletor battle of Matrix versus Realm, which also meant the beginning of the year data wasn't completely reliable either. But it was noticeable for us out there working that things were not chugging along smoothly. March set a new record low in sales in Niagara, down 34% from the year before. So spring market in Niagara real estate, in April, we were noting little blips of activity. So for example, sales were down 19% in April, with a little bump in May. But ultimately, our spring market of 2025 in Niagara posted the lowest number of sales year to date between January and May since 2011. We also had some of the highest numbers of all time of active listings sitting on market in Niagara, which finally put that downward pressure on our benchmark price. In summer, we were in a bit of a holding pattern for sales, while our benchmark price was down 4% year over year. And if you look to what was happening globally, the deadline for a trade agreement between Canada and the US kept getting pushed back all summer. Also, the gap between list price and selling price was widening, and price drops were plenty as we moved into fall and winter. As of mid-November, 62% of listings had to reduce their price to sell. Some listings accumulated over 200 days on market with a number of price drops to get to a price to sell. Looking towards the holiday season in Niagara real estate, things seem to be continuing on that trend, with people putting pretty competitive pricing out there to try to get the job done before the new year. I will have a full view of how the year finished and encapsulate the year's market as a whole once the December stats hit in January. And at that point, I will make my projections for 2026. For now, it may be the most well-deserved holiday break for all. So forget about the market, tuck in, and enjoy the rest. 2025 gave us a lot of challenges. Let's be thankful for the good that we can find in it. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in, spoiler alert, what I think might be a brighter new year. And as always, check out NaomiKnightRealEstate.com if you need help doing those real estate things in this brighter new year.